Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets and Independent Trading Group, we are very pleased you've joined us for the Blockchain and Digital Assets Conference. The next live presentation is from Newton. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view Newton's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. And now I'm very pleased to welcome Bruno Alfano Rizzo, Chief Technology Officer, and Chantal Dialves, Chief Administrative Officer of Newton. Bruno and Chantal, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Chantal Dialves, and I'm the Chief Administrative Officer at Newton. And this is Bruno Alfano Rizzo, the Chief Technology Officer at Newton.
Thank you, Chantal. Yeah, so we're pretty excited here to present what Newton is and discuss the space that we're in. So yeah, we'll start off on a very high level. There is a challenge that we've seen in the crypto space. We've sort of distilled it down into three main areas. The first challenge that the space itself is or really has been experiencing, particularly over the last 5 years, is regulatory uncertainty. So you're seeing just over the last few years, regulators fully giving guidance that is clear and represents a pretty good, I guess, representation of the traditional asset markets. So what you're seeing is some of the institutions now able to build out feature sets pretty confidently, without having to know that the stuff that you're building might not be able to exist in a few years' time. So you're seeing a lot more adoption on the institutional side and retail as some of this uncertainty is becoming clear. Another issue that the crypto industry as a whole is, I guess, in the process of solving for is fiat on and off ramps. So essentially, at the moment, if you wanted to convert Canadian dollars or US dollars or whatever you have to crypto, the KYC process in particular was relatively tricky to solve for a few years ago. But what you're seeing these days is a much more similar KYC process and a little bit more trust around some of the processes and the companies that are facilitating some of these interactions. And then one of the final points here that I'd say that impacts most business on the crypto side, whether you're a centralized or decentralized project, would be customer support. So it's quite hard to find, and it's actually pretty risky to offer in the centralized space around crypto, just because it is such an area for fraud and some of the more nefarious stuff that happens in finance. So the way we handle customer support is quite sensitive and hard to offer. On the DeFi side, so if you're a decentralized project, I haven't really seen actually many customer support teams out there that are able to, let's say, help you recover your crypto if you make a mistake. So on a very broad level, these are some of the issues that are currently, I guess, being faced by some of the Canadian crypto firms, including ourselves. And yeah, so if we just want to go to the next slide there.
Yeah. So in terms of a solution, us as an organization, some of our key differentiators are, as an organization, we support 70 plus assets. So we've got a broad and growing selection of major and emerging tokens that are available. We also support deposit and withdrawal for all of our assets on the platform. We have fee-free deposit and withdrawals as well. So $0 fees on Interac e-transfers, wires, and crypto withdrawals. This way that there's reduced friction for recurring buys and portfolio rebalancing. We offer staking with really transparent yields. So we have, retail friendly staking for select assets with visible APYs. There's no hidden spread or fee layering, so everything is pretty transparent for our user. There's a clean, beginner-friendly interface. And so what we've done as an organization is we also streamlined the mobile and web design, and so it's tailored more so for those everyday investors. And so Newton's mission is to empower Canadians to grow their crypto portfolios with simplicity, trust, and enduring value, regardless of those market conditions. And the Experience mission is to make managing crypto as seamless as possible, where anyone and everyone can access it with ease.
And just to kind of, I guess, extend on that, the vision that we have here for the Experience is to revolutionize the way Canadians interact with crypto. We want to enable users to discover, interact, and engage with crypto. So that is our vision. And for our product experience, just to extend what Chantal was mentioning there, one of the things that I'm proud to say that really does set Newton apart. It's one of the things that I hear most from users is its simplicity of use. So we are talking about a relatively new asset type for a lot of individuals out there. So just getting to understand what this is, how to interact with it, especially when we're talking about offering 70 different assets. They are similar, however, they're not the same, right? And it is a bit of a challenge to create a cohesive experience across all these different chains, right? Especially when you're talking about withdrawals and some of the more technical analysis, right? So creating a cohesive experience there is something that I'm definitely quite proud of. One of the other things that I think is pretty unique about Newton, so I'm myself a crypto enthusiast. I have a lot of friends in the space, and Newton is one of the firms out there where if you today want to buy crypto for the first time, let's say you want to buy it right now, within 3 hours you can have crypto, which is actually quite rare, and I'd say that it has a lot to do with our customer support team. Not every onboarding is purely automatic, right? There's a number of different reasons why you can get caught in a customer support flow. But even in those scenarios, our turnaround time is quite good. So we've been able to, achieve operational efficiency when it comes to onboarding crypto, which it's a very timely space, right? Like, if I want crypto today, it doesn't necessarily mean I want it tomorrow, right? So this is something that I think is a nice user experience, but also kind of plays into our business model here. In terms of recurring buys, so we do have a lot of new users, new adopters of crypto. And one of the challenges of being a new adopter for crypto is if I want to price today, because the prices are so volatile, it's putting me as a new user at risk. So really, we have a recurring buy feature just to help smooth those, entrance points into the crypto space, right? So you can dollar cost average essentially over a period of time. So you're not really experiencing too much volatility as your first experience. And that's something that we do take pretty seriously. And one of the last things that I get quite a bit of usage out of is because we're so broadly covered across all these different assets, there is a relatively high chance that a user can log into our platform and really be a one-stop shop for any asset that they need. One of the benefits of that is that we are able to produce tax reports that are pretty standard for Coinly and some of the other common accounting platforms. So it does make doing crypto, I guess, in 2025, when regulation and reporting are a little bit more of an encouraged conversation. It's one of the things that we do, I think, pretty well. So that's on a high level with the product experience at Newton.
And so market opportunity. So the Canadian crypto market is definitely underserved, but growing quickly. So approximately 5.5 million Canadians owned crypto in 2023, as according to the Bank of Canada. There's a 16% adoption rate and rising. So that rate is also rising. And 60% plus prefer platforms registered in Canada that are OSC, well, according to the OSC Investor Survey. And of course, obviously, going towards that regulatory approval, it makes it so that that trust element is there. Newton's focus right now is becoming regulated. So we're right now in the process of our CIRO registration. We are a fiat native brokerage for retail Canadian customers only. We're built for new adopters, power users, not institutions. And we support large trades via our OTC desk, which is the sister company, Newton OTC Inc. So currently we don't have an API offering. Our business model is pretty simple, it's transparent, and diversified in terms of revenue model. So there are trading fees, which are spread based. There's no surprise charges. There are withdrawal fees, which are flat fees on fiat and crypto withdrawals, and then staking revenue, which is the share of the yield from unsupported assets. And I know that there was a question in our Q&A, so this probably will answer that question for that individual. In terms of the emerging opportunities, we launched our OTC business in 2023. It's still growing, but not at that institutional level at this point. So we're still growing that business, which is quite new for us. And then in terms of future yield initiatives, right now we are exploring ways to responsibly unlock value from fiat balances with user experience and compliance at its core. The go-to-market strategy. So right now we're focused on a few key areas. Market and audience definition. So from a retail and institutional enthusiast and early adopters kind of view on that. Our regulatory readiness, which boils down to custody, security, and compliance. Our positioning and unique value proposition, which is definitely the quick on and off ramp. So that customer can, ramp as soon as possible, as soon as they get, set up with Newton. We've got a smooth UX for mobile first traders. And then we have proprietary trading tools and social engagement. In terms of marketing, we're very focused on our referral program. So we do a lot of our marketing organically, where it's word of mouth and referral from existing users. We also participate in SEO, content, performance marketing. And then our product team is pretty focused on product-led growth and retention. So those staking and rewards, the gamification of Newt Loot, which is a feature that we're going to be launching for its third season come the summer, as well as price alerts. And now we're also kind of turning our heads to focus more on partnerships and ecosystem integration.
So what does the competitive landscape look like for Newton and some of our call them colleagues? I guess the main takeaway from this chart here is you'll really see Newton kind of stand out for the combination of broad asset coverage, so that third one down, broad asset selection, right? We have 70 plus. In addition to the customer support thing. Now, I do think that maybe this is not the winning formula in 10 years from now, but because we have so many early adopters in the space at the moment, this is something that I'm quite proud of, to say that it doesn't matter what type of account you have, you're going to get equal service from a real human being on Newton, and we get such a broad range of, I guess, help outreaches. That I really do feel like Newton is in a position to make an impact and really kind of, I guess, pave the way for these early adopters here. But yeah, so this is a competitive landscape. Really, only 2 companies on here are not Canadian. You can probably guess which ones they are. But yeah, we're in pretty good company. And what does our roadmap look like for after the next year? So at the moment, like Chantal was saying, our current focus is really regulatory approvals, bringing our back end and front end up to speed with some traditional regulatory standards when it comes to fintechs. So at the moment, we are going through our serial registration process. The application has been submitted. We are actively adding new assets and staking offerings to the platforms. And at the moment, we are also trying to drive operational efficiency. Right? And the reason really is because I guess we're being opportunistic here. So we do know that during the serial registration process, as your application is submitted, you don't really want to make too many changes to your business model. Otherwise, it's going to prompt a reapplication. So we're going to use this time essentially, to improve efficiencies and just do what we do today, but better, more of that versus adding new product offerings. That's where Q4 comes in. So the estimated, registration process should be completed around then. Which at that point we will resume regular, product feature releases as normal. Newton does have a pretty good cadence for new feature updates versus just like new assets. We don't really necessarily consider that a new whole feature, right? We're adding functionality to the system, but not necessarily through features. And yeah, so some other stuff we want to focus on going ahead is expanding the OTC and basically any tooling, any systems processes for some of our high volume users, and improving onboarding, funding, and reporting. So today we do it pretty well, and tomorrow we want to be a leader in that space. So that is what our roadmap for the next few quarters looks like.
Okay. And now in terms of vision and execution, so Newton, right now, we're not currently raising capital. Some of the things that we are focusing on, which we've mentioned before, is completing our serial registration, expanding our feature set responsibly, and then continuing to build a trusted, fast, intuitive crypto experience for Canadians. And so a little bit about our team. So our team is a focused team of builders, operators, and crypto native problem solvers. We are led by founders and leaders with track records in scaling consumer fintech products in Canada. Our team has, especially our engineering and product teams, they have a deep technical expertise. So, it includes talent coming from Coinbase, AWS, Amex, BMO, TD. So blending kind of that crypto native and the institutional knowledge together. We've got regulatory first DNA. So from day one, we've prioritized as an organization compliance and have contributed to the Canadian regulatory development. And I'd say in big part, that's to like our legal counsel and our compliance team that we have. And then last but not least, we're obsessed with product quality. So, as a team, we're small but mighty, 70-person team. We iterate fast, we test rigorously, and we ship improvements weekly. And, we're hybrid and remote. We've got an office in Toronto, Alberta, but, the team is definitely a small but mighty team. Great. Well, I think that takes us to the end. So I guess we can hop into some of the questions that we have.
Yeah. Chantal, you want me to read them out for you and you can try your best at giving them an answer? Or how do you want to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So we got a question here. What is our revenue model? I think you kind of answered that on slide 8. So to the individual that asked that question, if you want more details, or I guess...
I can go back. I can go a little bit deeper. So specifically, Newton generates revenue by taking a spread on the user trades executed through our platform. The spread varies depending on what asset is being traded. So for instance, USDC, we apply a 1% spread. The major cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, these trades specifically, they carry a slightly higher spread of approximately like 1.12%. And then in terms of altcoins and lower volume assets, those spreads can sometimes be applied a little bit higher. So our spread-based model ensures revenue scales with the trading volume while maintaining competitive pricing across the different asset classes.
Perfect. Okay, let's go to the next question here. Do you have any strategic investors or partners assisting with your rollout?
So we are already live. So we're rolled out. I'd say, I mean, from our Series A and our prior to a very strategic investor would be DV Trading. So they've been with us since day one, and they've invested heavily in us, and as well as other investors in our Series B. But that would probably be one of our most strategic investors throughout the rollout.
Okay, all right, we got a nice question here. Any plans for an equity offering?
At this time, no. But I mean, that could change in the future. So never say never, I guess, is the response to that question.
Right on. Okay, and another question here. Can you elaborate more on how you are encouraging new users to buy digital assets?
So, I mean, in terms of encouraging, we are not allowed to give any advice, but we can market and do a lot of work to promote the platform specifically. Bruno, I don't know if you wanted to answer that one a little bit more in more depth.
Yeah, I can try my hand at that one. So the way I found Newton was actually word of mouth through a forum. I was buying NFTs about 4 or 5 years ago, and one of the forum posts there was, how do we sell our assets back into Canadian dollars, and Newton came up. So one of the ways Newton, I guess, got its initial batch of users was just by simply working and being at the right place at the right time. But that was about 4 years ago. And those, I guess, early adopters that are very comfortable with crypto, you can say that most of that group of users has a platform, right? So the next cohort, the next group here are what we're seeing is people that are using it for the first time, right? Like, for example, my aunt called me about a month or two ago and asked, how do I buy Bitcoin? This is the next generation kind of, I guess, of users, the ones that haven't used it before. And something that Newton does very well is being friendly. Whether or not you've purchased an asset on a digital platform before, shouldn't necessarily dictate your experience on Newton. Right? So if you use, let's say, a Questrade or something for traditional finances to, let's say, manage your RSP manually, if you have not used that before, right, where you've purchased stocks through an interface like that, I say with relatively high confidence, you'll figure out how to put Bitcoin in your account on our platform. So one of the things that we do is just have a very simple interface, and that is one of the things that I do get a lot of comments on, is how there's a bit of a look and a feel that was sort of set in, I'd say, about 2021 by one of the biggest, I guess, players in the industry. And basically every interface from all the popular exchanges and platforms all kind of copy the same thing, right? It's about 75% all the same. And that's great for a very technical user. But these people are generally on board. Yes, we need a home for them as well, but it's that next generation that we're really focusing on today. So really through easy to use interface that's really intuitive out of the gate. And we also have some educational content that we're now working on, really, to try and help demystify what crypto is. For example, my aunt 2 months ago didn't know that you could buy less than 1 Bitcoin at a time. She says, I can't afford Bitcoin. It's $150,000. I said, well, buy $10 worth, right? These types of things sound simple, but very impactful.
Awesome. I think that's it for the questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, and it was nice to talk to everyone.